Hey guys, welcome back to the shop for another week of SNS, and we've got plenty of stuff to talk about this week. I'm going to give you a shop update on what's been going on. We've got some new developments with that, some pretty interesting news, and I've also got plenty of machine work to share with you this week. I finish out the machining on the tapered bore for the two gears, so I'll show you a little bit more of that, and then we also get into making the tapered plug. So we set up the taper attachment to machine the tapered shaft, and then we come over here to the milling machine, the K&T, and we do some horizontal milling to get the slot cut in that for the Broach cutter. All right, so there's a lot of machining footage there, so I'm going to break it into two parts for you this week. So there will be a part one, part two. So be sure to check out both parts so that you can see the full, complete job of what I was doing here in this shop. All right, and I think that's going to be about it for this week. We're going to go out there, and I'm going to take the gimbal and I'm going to give you an update on what's been going on with the shop enclosure project out there, and we're going to talk about that. Okay, real quick, I wanted to give a mention to Paul's Welding from St. Paul Park, Minnesota, and Paul had sent a couple of boxes full of end mills like this right here, some nice big end mills, some big cutters. There's a nice drill right there, and also a bunch of these Morse taper socket extensions, some of the smaller sizes, you know, like number 1 and number 2 Morse in different lengths. So Paul, thank you very much for all of the tooling, and I'm going to go through that, and we're going to kind of separate some of the really good premium cutters and keep them separate, and some of these have been used and some of them are dull, but a couple boxfuls of nice stuff. So thank you very much, Paul. All right, so let's go outside and see what's up with the shop update. And by the way, I am feeling better now. I pretty much got over that virus that I had, that bug, so everything's pretty good. So, all right, we'll meet you outside. I'm gonna go ahead and give you an update on what's been going on with the shop extension here. Not the shop extension, this shop enclosure. So, as you can see, judging from last week, nothing has been done. So, I let the guy go this week, Monday. I just got tired of the excuses and nothing being done, and I just didn't get a good feeling about what was going on, and I was an unhappy customer, and I let it go for 3 weeks, and it was getting into the 4th week. By the time you watch this, it'll be exactly a month since the work started, and it was supposed to be done between 1 and 2 weeks, and we got about 1 week worth of work out of this guy, and then he stopped showing up. So I just had enough of it and let him go, and I'm moving on, should I say. I'm not going to get into any further details about that, but I'm working things out on my end regarding that. But I am in touch with 2 people now to help me get prices on getting this work completed, you know, taking off from what's been done and carrying forward with what I want to do. So I actually spoke with a gentleman yesterday, really nice guy, works for a reputable contractor here in town, very nice guy. I sat down and talked to him right here about everything that's been going on, what I want, what's been happening, and he was very straightforward and very, very knowledgeable, and he is going to be getting with me next week and getting me a price on getting this stuff done. He even suggested maybe doing some of this stuff in stages, getting the walls completed and the doors up and getting it dried in completely, and then from there working on towards finishing the inside out. So that might be what we end up doing. I'm not sure. I just know that I want to get it all done. I'm also waiting to hear from another person that I know personally that does this work, so I'm waiting to hear from him. He's going to come by and talk to me, and we're going to go over it, and hopefully I can get some estimates from him on getting it done. So that's where we're at. It looks like this project is going to end up taking way longer than what I had first anticipated that it was going to take. And you know, judging from everybody's experiences with construction and remodeling, this is a pretty common occurrence. Not very happy about that, and I was told that this is a bad time to be doing this right now. A lot of guys are busy. A lot of guys are building homes, and just everybody's got work to do. So I think the guys that are out there advertising are maybe not so reputable anyway. So that's what I wanted to tell you, and I was going to kind of go over a couple of things. First of all, I just finished cleaning the place up, cleaning up garbage and trash, and I just completely filled up that trash can right there full of trash and, you know, scrap wood and everything. So I'm going to get out here and blow this out now, but at least it's cleaned up pretty much. And a couple of the things that I had discussed with the new guy that I'm talking to that works for a contracting company, I asked him about the wiring, and this particular wiring for this type of wall and what we're doing here is legal. That's illegal. That's not illegal. This is within code, should I say. All right, so that's good. There was concerns about that. The ceiling light I'm not happy with. I'm gonna have 4 on each row right here. There's gonna be a total of 8 lights going down, and this guy that was doing this was only putting in 6. Okay, you can see like right here is where the last fixture is gonna be, and this is right about where the saw is gonna set, and we're gonna have material storage all along this corner right here. So there's gonna be another light back here to cover all of the this whole area. And also, you know, we got our presses that's going to be right here, so we're going to have a light up here as well. So we're going to have a total of 8 lights, and I'm hoping that's going to be plenty of light to light the place up. The guy I've been talking to says that the ends of the OSB that was put up like this right here is not right. That's got to be fixed. This is a board that was nailed up on the crack. So anyway, that would be done correct right there. And we talked about this. This was supposed to be cut out and done right, and this is just patchwork right here. So the new guy is going to give me part of the cost is actually cutting this properly, cutting that out and putting in concrete and leveling it like it should be. So that's another thing that's going to be corrected right there. I think that's about it for some of the nitpicky stuff. This is just a incomplete project, so there's still lots of things that's got to be done, minor detail. I meant to point this out before. My friend Chuck Bomarito, Outside Screwball, had given me a really good idea, and I know a couple other guys had suggested it too in the comments. But whenever I move this air conditioner, it's going to go to that back wall there. By the way, I want it there because I want it out of the way. I don't want it in the middle of the shop. I want a good clean wall down this side. But anyway, Chuck had suggested that I cut this wall and make this a walkthrough into the shop, and I think that's an excellent idea, and I want to see about incorporating that. So the placement of that electrical box is going to have to be moved right there because that's going to be right in the way. But I had talked to Chuck on the phone, and he had suggested have a price done on this. The guys that cut block and cut concrete have the right equipment to control the dust and make a nice clean cut, and it could be worth my while to actually have a pro do that instead of me trying to do it myself and create all kind of dust that's going to get inside the shop also. So anyway, this is going to be something on the agenda to have done. I think that's a really good idea, so thank you, Chuck, for suggesting that, and the other guys that had mentioned it as well. So you can see some of the electrical was put in right here, and there's going to be more. That's not it. There's going to be another drop down right here, right in the middle of this wall, so we'll have power there. And I wanted plenty of boxes all the way down the wall so that we can put machinery anywhere we want, grinding machines on pedestals, anywhere along here we want. We got plenty of room to plug stuff in. There's going to be some down there as well, so this is not it. Just like I said, minor details. I think that's about it that I wanted to talk about as far as this going right here. It's been a very frustrating ordeal. I'm just very unhappy with how this has been handled, and hopefully between a couple of the guys that I'm talking to now, I can get somebody that's going to be honest with me and wants to come to work and get the job done. That's what I'm hoping for. So I think that's about it for this. I will mention that I am in talks with a couple of guys here in town, guys that do concrete, about doing a slab out here, and I'm getting prices on that. So this is going to be the next phase after I get this shop area complete. And what I decided that I'm going to do is from the wall out, 24 foot out, 30 foot wide. It'll basically go from all the way over here next to the shed all the way over to the edge of the shop over there. That'd be 30 feet across, and it'd be 24 foot out, and that's going to come all the way out to this point right here. That's 24 foot right there. So it'd be a 24 by 30 foot slab, 6-inch thick reinforced concrete with rebar. This would be a nice strong slab so that it would be able to be used, you know, equipment backing up on here, machines out here, whatever's got to be done. It'd be a nice heavy duty slab. That's going to be after though. So this is your update. Hopefully you enjoyed, and maybe in a few weeks we'll have some more work to share with you on what's been done out here, and I'll be sure to let you know what develops on it. Okay. All right, guys, we're working on the second gear now. I just got her set up and indicated, and I'll try to bust this thing out. Picked up the feed rate a little bit on this one here to try to get it cut out a little faster. But it's going to be identical on the board. Get this one done and then move on to the milling machine down there and work on that plug. Well, actually, I'm sorry, I want to get down there, but we're going to have to get in this lathe and set that piece of stock up and machine the taper on it that's going to match this board. And I want to get that done, that way we can go do some milling. Got this one finished up just like the other. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the solid piece of stock that we're going to make into a broach plug. I got to reset the taper attachment just to the opposite direction and get it indicated in. So I'll bring you along the way, show you how we're going to get it done. Alright, so we're going to swap this taper attachment the other way. I already gave it a nice little clean off, get all the chips out of the way. And it's also important too that whenever you're using these things to keep the chips out of the channel there. You don't want them getting jammed up in there on these rollers. Actually, I think it would be best once this thing is set to put the guards back on there to keep the chips from. It's just I've never gotten into the habit of doing that. I think I just forget to put the guards back on it. So what we need to do is loosen this bolt here, or this nut I mean. And there's another one on this other side down here where the gear is. It's on the bottom. Wrong way. This side over here is like a clamp that tightens down. And then I just use these little Armstrong wrenches to move it. Alright, and so you see how it's moving now. I'll bring the camera over here so you can see it kind of lining up. So right here is where we want to go, 3 inches per foot. And I'm going to try to line it up as closely as I can with my calibrated eye, and then we'll check it. So I'm coming up on the 3, and I'm just trying to center myself, my sights up on that line so that I can get it as closely as I can. And it's like reading a scale. You basically want to try to make that line disappear underneath the line in the center there. So that looks like that's it. I'm going to go ahead and snug this clamp and then snug the nut on the opposite end over here. Okay. So now we'll set up our indicators and see if our cross slide is going to travel the appropriate 1/8 per side. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I'm shy about 1/1000th right there, so I need to make a very, very slight movement on the taper attachment over there. And the way I do that, since it's such a rapid movement with the gear, is I set another one of these indicators up over there and just tap the wrench and move it a few thousandths and then come back over here and check it. We got an indicator set up there, and I forgot that this one is not, I don't think it's going to work. Let me see. Alright, I just did get it. And I moved it. Alright. That was on 0 whenever we started, when I loosened that thing up. Didn't go as planned, guys. Yeah, I'm moving it around. I need to go get a different wrench than this box in here. Alright, we got us a better wrench now. Now let me see if I can move that back. I just wanted to move it like 2/1000ths and see what that difference that makes over there on the reading. Okay, so 2/1000ths on this indicator. That should give us a slight bit more taper. Let's go check it. I only gained 0.5 but it's 0.5 to the direction that I wanted to go. So we're going to do this again. So we'll move it another 2. And see if that'll work. Go. All right, let's check this again. 1, 2, 3. All right, I think we hit it that time. 125. I'm going to do it one more time, just to double check. It's tough to hit those needles exactly, you know. And $125. All right, I think we made it. So we're going to keep the taper attachment right there. That should be perfect to line up with our 2 gears. So now we'll go ahead and move on to the piece of stock and start machining it. So I purposely cut this piece of stock long. This is 2.5 inch diameter. I cut it long because I plan on turning it here in the lathe, and after that we're going to go to the mill, and I wanted to be able to hold this in the milling machine vise to do the milling on the end there. And then once we're through with the milling, then we'll take it to the saw and cut it off. The jaws are still loose there, even though it was centered. You got to make sure that they're tight, or your pieces move around in the jaws while you're turning it. All right, that's good enough right there, I think. Should have left well enough alone. Okay. I don't know how square it is. You can see real quick. Doesn't really matter because we're turning it. So yeah, we got a few thou run out, but that's all right. We're just turning it to where we need it. First thing we'll do is get the end squared up nice. And we'll probably put us a center in the end of it to support it. It's sticking out a little too far to be turning without a center. And then we're gonna turn it back probably about 4 inches or so down to our largest diameter. That's going to be our end right there. Just come on and come off quick. That's chrome plating there. You don't want it to rub very much. So that's removing 200 thousandths, 14 thousandths feed rate. Just going to take it down to our 2.180. That's our second cut, bringing it down to our 2.180 size now. All right, we're finally ready to turn our taper here. So I've got the taper attachment locked in place where it needs to be. I've adjusted the tool post over that on that side of the compound so that I can get closer, so that I'm not having to stick the tailstock quill out so far, and I can move the tool over to eliminate the backlash and then come back into the taper to make the cut. All right, so there's some of the movement there. I've got my cross slide set to 0, and I'm going to use the compound to feed in and touch off, and then whenever we crank it back like this is when we're going to do our end feed, and then bring it back and make our cut. Alright, so we'll come off of it. Now we'll feed in. Let's do 125, and then we'll come back and make our cut. Come back, feed in, so we'll go to 250. All right, looking good. Yeah, it's looking good. And I'll slow the feed rate down once we get close to size and make a little smoother finish on there. Alright, I'm taking a measurement to see about where I'm at on my size for the small end, because that's what I'm doing, is going off a bit. Alright, so about 1.550, so that's about 150 thousandths. That's got to come off, 145, something like that. I also want to take this and just go ahead and do our very first test fit to see if our tapers are matching. Make sure there's no dust on it, no chips. Look at that. I think we got a pretty decent fit there. Alright, what I'm going to do, I'll show you right here. So as I run back, that tool is getting really close to that center. Now I could probably go ahead and adjust that, but I have a tough time getting in here with my calipers to measure. So I'm just loosening the tailstock and moving it back out of the way so that I can crank this tool on further back and then have all this room cleared up, okay? 425. I think I was off 100 thousandths on that last measurement. I'll have to, I guess I'll have to wait to the video to see whatever it was I told you. I don't forgot now. So we got another 120 thousandths to come off of this. That's looking more like it. And that's going to be our final cut there. Alrighty. So I think that'll work for a broach plug right there. I'm going to do a little bit of deburring on the ends on these sharp edges, and we're going to go out of the lathe and we're going to start setting up the milling machine.